So this evening we are, following up on what is happening in South Sudan, where a number of people, thousands, have been displaced. And to this morning, around about 270 or plus people have been reported dead. The political war is happening in South Sudan, which is most probably referred to as civil war. Is a repetition of something that happened in 2013. Now we are joined by South Sudan Peace Coalition in Kenya chairman. His name is Deng, commonly known as Deng, and he's here to talk to us about what this coalition really is doing in Kenya and what they are doing regarding the situation that is currently ongoing in South Sudan, especially in terms of bringing peace both in their country and in Kenya and across the world. Now we are here with Mr. Daniel. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you too.
Good evening.
Good evening too.
No, we're very humbled to honor you.
Thank you.
But first, we just want to talk about what is going on in your country, South Sudan. This seems to be a very, complicated situation now that it is politically instigated. As a Sudanese living in Kenya, what is your perspective, when it comes to this war? How do you feel generally about what is going on in your country?
To begin with, what is going on in South Sudan, to me it is like a continuation of the conflict which was erupted in 2013. When the conflict erupted in 2013, that conflict has been negotiating. There was a serious negotiation since January 2014 until they signed the agreement in 2015. And when the agreement was signed, the two warring parties were not like this is an enforced agreement to them. And they were told to go back to South Sudan because what had been seen by the international community, people have been suffering, people have been killing each other, the poverty has risen, starvation has been there. So when the leaders were not like, they don't want to sign the agreement as the international community needed, so they were opposed to sign the agreement. So that agreement, it happened right now because when they went to Juba, they feel like, okay, there is something which is lacking. And they have not built the trust among themselves. So the leaders never had that chance whereby they, okay, if the international community pulled them to sign an agreement, it was signed as their document because of the suffering of the people. So I thought they never thought about that. So when they went back to Juba, they have not built trust among themselves, especially the soldiers, those who are guarding them. Whatever they said on the other side of political ground, I don't think whether they have said on the side of the army. So when the conflict erupted last week, it was the soldiers who are guarding the president and the vice president.
Now, Daniel, what you're saying right now is that the peace treaty or the ceasefire that we were witnessing was rather not the political, it was not President Kiir's will, neither was it the vice president's will. In other words, you're saying they were forced to sign it, so people are still suffering for it. But let's go straight to what you're feeling as a Sudanese. The war is in your country, but is it in a way or another that you're affected as a Sudanese even when you're outside the country?
Truly being affected by the conflict, because right as we speak now, those people who are in diaspora, they are not happy with what is going on in South Sudan. And we, peace ambassadors, we are working hard to pressurize our leaders in order to accept the agreement which they have signed. They have to abide by the agreement because the pain we are undergoing right now, maybe they have not seen, but later they will see. So we are not happy for what is going on in South Sudan.
Yeah, when you talk about you're not happy with what is going on, it is very evident because I think it is on Saturday when the Peace Coalition in Kenya took to the streets, whether it was a peaceful demonstration to urge the Sudanese community, both in Sudan and even in Kenya, to be peaceful. That was a great initiative, but even as we're speaking today, a number of people who are dying there could be youth. Is that correct?
Yes, true, they are youth. And they don't know sometimes what makes them to die. Because like the majority of people who are dying on the ground, on both warring parties, they are youth. But they are being blindfolded by the leaders. So if I talk as Nuer or Dinka, just let we pace Nuer or pace Dinka. The young people just move because of ignorance, and they don't know really what is in that politics. Sometimes somebody can say, this is our position, and these people, they don't want us to go there. This is our position. These people, they don't want us to stay there. So it moves young people to fight each other, and we count that as ignorant. Yeah.
So basically the young people who are being involved in the wars, you know, are putting aside all the troops and the political antagonists. We can see that the youth in South Sudan are very involved in this war and are suffering more. Yeah. But putting that aside, this is happening. It is almost a repeat of 2013. But now that you began this South Sudan Peace Coalition in Kenya, do you foresee that the war might come to an end? And if yes, what are you doing as a coalition to ensure that probably something is done, even back at home, that peace is, you know, gotten back into the country?
Truly, this war will come to an end. And to come to an end, it needs all of us, especially South Sudanese who are in diaspora. It needs our neighbors, especially the IGAD. It needs Africa Union. They need even international, especially Security Council, because these people, they are the one who which South Sudanese to sign this, with their concern that this is a very good nation and they have future. This is a new nation who just get independent the other day. So it is a surprise for the leaders of South Sudan to make the country to be a fragile state or a failed state. So the region needed to put pressure on them. We, the citizens, we have to put pressure on them. And they will see later what we are doing. It is not a bad thing to them. It is a good thing.
You know, you have just mentioned something very important, that since South Sudan got independence, you guys have seen more fighting than you have experienced peace. How does this affect, let's talk about the social cultural things that affect the country, like education and, you know, the things that have been affected so far. And as a Sudanese, you could tell us more about how these things have affected you and even the other youth in the diaspora and even in South Sudan, just to touch on a few things that this war has cost you, because more fighting has been seen more than peace. Are you even stable in terms of education and other social amenities?
I think it has affected us seriously on side of education and even in social relation between the communities. Since the war started in 1983, I myself, I was 13 years, and then I left. I went to Ethiopia, stayed as a young gentleman. Then again, I came back to war. So seeing the war continue, all the young people, majority of them, except those who are in Kenya, these are the people who have a good education right now, especially those who are in the region, especially East Africa. These are the only people who are, we can say, these are the learned people. But back at home, maybe you can go to primary, later you can be taken to the army because of you don't have way forward to study. So where you see life, maybe in the army. So right as we speak, and that is where we have challenges. Majority of people, they aim of going to be a soldiers. So the future of education there, it is completely, there is no hope in that, especially these 3 years now. People have not gone to school because of conflict. You cannot manage to go to school because maybe yours, where you usually go, it has been destroyed. And fear of attack make other children not to go to school. So the term of social relation between communities, people have lost trust right now. There is no trust between the communities. And this is where the problem is. And this is what we need now to work as a civil society here in Kenya to build this trust between the communities, between the tribal line, and just bridge the gap.
So now, we have had a great interview here with, you know, the chairperson of a very great coalition in Kenya, South Sudan Peace Coalition. His name is Daniel Deng, a very interesting name. But so far we have seen the energy that he has within him, with the hope that South Sudan will resume to become a peaceful country, despite him saying that there is so much going on that it cannot be controlled from the political grounds. The South Sudanese out here in diaspora, especially in Kenya, still believe that when the Sudanese come together and understand and trust each other once again, we will have peace in South Sudan. But so far, we still continue to bring you what goes on as we try to see if the two parties will get to understand each other and finally reunite or bring peace in that particular country. That's just a glimpse of what we had in this night bulletin. We have to take a very short break. We come back with more news. Don't go away.